up the next thing here. I'm trying to get rid of these tabs. Still got like 20 tabs. Oh, we have Don Lemon saying absolutely terrible things with Bill Maher. I don't even want to watch this episode. Usually I go in and I try to find other clips or get the longer clip of the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Not today. Not with Don Lemon. I've seen enough of this guy, quite honestly. Let's hear what he has to say here. He's talking about black Trump supporters.
It's the same thing that when I see not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing that you're doing. But if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's book this person, let's put him on television.
So you don't think you can be a sincere black MAGA person?
No, I just said, I don't think that, I just said, I think there can be sincere Republicans.
But you can't be a sincere black Republican?
I don't think that you can be a rational MAGA, be black and be a rational MAGA person. I think you can be black and be a Republican.
I think they would find that very insulting.
Well, I mean, the truth is often insulting. It's the same thing that when I see.
It's just so, this guy, just the things it's not even edgy. It's just, it's always uneducated. And when I say uneducated, I mean, he doesn't actually engage in conversations with the people that he's talking about. He's not sitting back having deep conversation. He's never asked somebody who supports Trump, who's black, why they do it. He never asked them what they feel they're getting. And if he's talking about me, yeah, he is. He's talking about me. 100% he is. But he would never have a conversation with me. He would never do a podcast with me to sit down for an hour or two and actually hear what I have to say. This is just completely from his own mind. Oh, they can't be rational, and oh, they're trying to get booked. These are the regular talking points that everybody says. They say it about Officer Tatum. They say it about Candace Owens. They say it about guys like me. This is always the stance that they take. Oh, you're doing this. I've had it in comments as well. Oh man, you're trying to get the white man's money. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm just talking about what I think. Like you think right now I turn off the camera and I take off my Longhorn shirt and I have a Pride shirt underneath, and then I wipe this black beard stuff off and I really have a pink beard, and then I go and kiss my husband? Or what are you, out of your mind? Like, what do you think this is? This is me. I don't change. I don't become some leftist as soon as I turn the computer off. Are you crazy? This is just how I am. This is how many people are. They just think this way. There have been conservative black people in the United States of America longer than there have been liberal ones. And that's hard for some people to wrap their head around, but it's true. Because back in the day, as black people were coming, first off, black people in slavery were making sure that they were always married, and like there was a lot of that. So there was conservative values there. Then when they got out of it, they were very conservative. They were Republicans. They made up a big part of Republicans. Like, people forget this, And then even still, go into black neighborhoods to this day, you'll find a lot of liberal single mom types. But those families that have the man and the woman and everything, a lot of them are very conservative. They come from very conservative homes where they don't want to hear about pronouns. Like, they react the same way you would think like the old racist white guy archetype would react. They don't want to hear about your pronouns and all that stuff. There's so many black families that feel that way. And he's just like, oh, you can't be rational and think. This is what he's basically saying. You can't be rational and think that Donald Trump is better than Kamala Harris. Like, what world is he from? What planet is he from? It's such a outrageous thing to say. And I think for Don Lemon, that's what he's clamoring for, because he's not doing good in this whole independent journalism, YouTube podcast world. He's not doing well in this whole sphere. And I think he really wants to get back into the mainstream somehow. And I don't see it happening, but That's all I can think of. Again, I don't know. Maybe he really does think this way because he's been on brand saying stuff like this for a really long time. But I don't know, man. It's like you have no conversations with people who think differently than you at all. And yet somehow you have this vast opinion of how people different than you think. It's like you don't even know them as people. You don't even know them as voters. You don't even know them in the political sense. Like nothing about them. And then on top of that, the guy's a millionaire. You don't know people. You've been in media / Hollywood for the longest time. And you think you have a clear view of regular people. It's mind-bending to me hearing this guy talk. And then I haven't even watched this clip yet. I only saw the headline of just, I'm convinced these people hate America. I haven't even seen this yet. And I'm already pissed. I'm already mad. Let's hear it together.
Grampy Trump, let's talk. First of all, you can't make Canada the 51st state without going to war with them. And let me explain how that happened, how that worked out the last time we tried to go to war with Canada. They burned the White House to the ground in 1814 and won the war. Canada beat us in the War of 1812. They probably liked their chances against us. We're not going to beat them in a war because we have never been able to do that. You'd have to occupy a country that is equivalent of the size of the United States, in which the top 2/3 of it is uninhabited, frozen forest land that touches the Arctic. You know how that worked out when the Nazis tried that with Russia, which is the equivalent of Canada on that part of the world? We gonna lose. We don't have enough troops to occupy. They are a country of 39 million people who have about as many guns per capita as we do.
No, they
Grampy
don't.
Trump.
What is this? What? Oh, the hoops you have to go through in Canada to get a permit to have a handgun. You have no idea. She has no idea what she's talking about. They have the population of Los Angeles. Los Angeles. What are you talking about? What happened to the U.S.? She thinks the army plays Call of Duty to capture the flag. Yeah, that's what she thinks. She thinks it's capture the flag. She thinks it's going to be all right. Once they get to the White House, if they burn it down, then, oh, the game's won. Are you... Do you have any idea? These people, do they have... Like, you can't just hate Trump, and that's just like, well, I hate Trump, so obviously his army will lose. His army is bigger and stronger than the top 5 armies put together. So the top 4. So they're no US is number 1. The other 4 can't compare. When it comes to jets, Russia has 8,300 jets. Okay? China has far less, and whoever's under them, I'm not even going to look up who they are. I don't care. Whoever's under them has even less than that. America has 17,000. They have more than double what the second place people have. And that's just jets. Are you out of your mind? Let's be real. If the U.S. decided, you know what? We're just going to play dirty. They could send a Green Beret team over there and they could install their own government within a year and a half, because that's what Green Berets do. They could send a Delta Force team, a bunch of ghosts, into the country and just eat it from the inside out. We're not even talking about full-blown war. And I don't even want to talk like that in regards to Canada, but it's just 1812? Do you know how much has changed? Do you know how much has changed in warfare for the United States of America since 1812? There's no more of this. There's no more. There's no more of that. There's no more of that. Okay? There's bullets this big. There's bullets this big. Okay? And there's guys that know how to shoot them. They know, they've perfected pink mist. Okay? There's guys that crave seeing pink mist in the US Army, in the US military. Are you kidding me? There's Delta Force and they're ghosts. There's probably another force that we don't even know about, and they're even more hidden, and they can do even more damage. We haven't even touched on the Navy SEALs yet. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Trump just said, he's like, there's a new jet. We just made a new jet. It's the F-47. I call it the Trump Mobile. It's the greatest. It flies with drones, as many drones as it wants. What does that even mean? We don't even understand what he means when he says that. I don't know what to do. Who watches these two and says, this is what I'm talking about right here? Who sees this? Oh my God. Just crazy. Canada. The that's crazier than when people say like, oh man, you know the US won't be able to handle the cartels. What? What are you talking about? They can just treat the cartel like Hamas. They can just act like they're Israel. They can just carpet bomb everything. They can just go. We think they were over there. We thought there was two of them there. Was there? Yeah, there was. What are you talking about? The war, it would be crazy. It'd be crazy. There'd be 39 million people. There'd be 38 that would surrender. 38 million that would surrender. You kidding me? Are you joking? And listen, listen. The disrespect belongs to Joy Reid, not to Canada. It doesn't belong to Canada. But if we're talking about armies, I mean, come on. Okay? Just another scenario. Russia and China could come together and say our armies are now together, and it still wouldn't be as big as the United States of America's. It still wouldn't be as powerful. Are you kidding me? You don't get it, man. You just don't get it. Do you even know what white phosphorus is? I talk about white phosphorus all the time. Do you guys know what it is? There's just some guy, he just flies over and he goes, it's target locked, do a test run. Over. Another guy goes, it's target locked, go ahead. You don't have to do the test. You can just light them up. Go ahead, over. Roger that. Light them up then. All right, over. And then the next thing you know, these things are just hitting the ground. They're just hitting the ground everywhere. And you're like, oh, they're missing their target. But no, they're not. And it's hitting the ground everywhere around the target. And then, and it's white phosphorus. And you try to run, and it gets inside of you. And then your insides start coming out. It's crazy. I'm not even going to get into it. Go look it up. Don't look it up, actually. Don't look it up. Never mind. Oh, man. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Of course it's scary. Of course it's scary. People do not. Trump just decided the other day to randomly go after an ISIS leader, and he turned the guy into a tweet. We didn't even know who the guy was. We didn't even hear about him. Some guy was just like, the target's it's in the car. I got him here. He's locked in. If the target's locked in, go ahead there. Target's locked in. I'm going to go ahead and, over. Yeah, you can go ahead and just do what you got to do. In and out. Over. And then the car blew up. Like, what? This is all day. And the rest of the world, after he did it, the rest of the world went, Yep. I guess that's what they did. If anyone was mad about it, they didn't say a word. Believe me. America is an aggressively, monstrously huge military. And you have not seen its might. You have not seen it. It's a sleeping giant that you couldn't even fathom. Anytime I talk about that stuff, man, let's just move away from that. It gets dark. It gets dark.